Okay, my last video was of me taking the top off of this old Steiner. What I discovered was the wood, the seam had come apart down the center. It's two pieces of wood and there's a seam down the middle, and about half of it had come apart years ago, and somebody attempted to fix it, but instead of rehydrating the wood, allowing the crack to come back together, as you can see it real good right there, they took and they made a very, very fine, thin sliver of wood, and they actually tried to fill the crack in with a piece of wood. Now, as to not see, what you don't want to do is you don't want to draw this wood, just draw it back together, get most of it back together, but then by doing that, the wood's under pressure and you don't get the sound, the reverb or the revibration and whatnot in the wood when you're playing it. It's under tension because the two pieces of wood put together, it's held real tight, because it's good here, but it's kind of like warped, and then you're bending the wood back together and then you're gluing it, and it's under tension all the time, so it doesn't sound right. So by adding a thin sliver of wood, they keep the top in a relaxed position, glued it, made it solid and everything, and it's fine and dandy. But the piece of wood, it's virtually impossible to make a thin sliver go right down to a point, because it's widest there, and then as you go down it gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner, and for a human being to make a piece of wood to fill that gap all the way to the tip is virtually impossible. So what happened is it started coming apart again. So what I have to do, what I did is, and I'm still cleaning it up, take that sliver of wood out without cutting myself. And what gave it away is I got looking at it, and in let me see if I don't know if I can show you here. It's too dark. I'm going to move the camera over here. We're in the light. Let's see if this will be any better. No. Okay. Okay. What? Okay, here we go. Okay, what I saw is this is the inside of the wood. Well, that piece of, that sliver of wood that they added in there didn't go from the bottom to the top. It only covered about half of that, down the entire length of it. That's what gave it away. At first I thought it was just one of the grains in the wood coming apart, but then I got looking at it and I realized it doesn't go all the way through the thickness. Wood doesn't grow like that. So the sliver of wood that they added only went from the top edge down to about halfway. It didn't go all the way to the bottom, and I could see the glue, so that's what gave it away. So I had to take all that out of there and clean it up, and then now what I have to do is rehydrate the wood, because this is 100 plus years old, maybe even 200 years old. So the wood's dry. It's going to do that. And then once it's rehydrated, a lot of the crack will come back right back together automatically. and then I'll be able to pull the rest of it back together without putting the wood under any kind of tension or anything like that. And it'll be done right. That's the way it's supposed to be done. So there you have it.